Well, we're rapidly approaching the quarter point of this NBA regular season, and there is no denying that the Golden State Warriors are playing like hot garbage right now.
Garbage!
Now I know what you're thinking, but they weren't very good last year in the regular season. Right you are. In fact, the Warriors sit currently in 10th place in the Western Conference playoff standings with an 8-10 record. A year ago, they were 8-10 at this point in the NBA season. And Golden State didn't make it out of the second round of the playoffs a year ago. Of course, they don't have that pesky little chemistry issue floating around the locker room this season since Draymond Green decided not to punch any teammates in the face this year. Not yet anyway. And the Warriors this year, unlike last, seem to be pretty healthy, as all of their key players have played in all but 1 or 2 games thus far, aside from the aforementioned resident team scumbag Draymond Green, who did get suspended a few games for dragging Rudy Gobert around the court by his neck earlier this year. Yeah, aside from him, all of the key players are playing, but that hasn't stopped the Warriors from looking like unmitigated ass so far this year. Klay Thompson,
Garbage!
averaging 15 points per game currently, which would be his lowest since his second season when he was just 22 years old, while shooting 40% from the field and 36% from the three-point line, both of which would be career lows. Draymond Green,
Garbage!
when he isn't serving suspensions for his on-court assaults, Green is playing, well, pretty much like Green typically plays. Averaging just under 9 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, which is right about on his career averages in those fields.
What?
Andrew Wiggins, meanwhile,
Garbage!
appears to be in pure regression mode, averaging just a shade under 13 points per game so far this year, down about 5 points per game from his previous 3.5 years with Golden State, while his field goal percentage and three-point shooting are also down across the board. The Chris Paul experiment,
Garbage!
also looks to be flopping. Relegated to a bench role as of late, Paul is averaging just under 9 points per game, 7 assists, and 3.5 rebounds, all of which constitute career lows for the point fraud this season.
He is the point god.
And oh yes, how could we forget about the baby-faced assassin Steph Curry? And Chef Curry has been cooking as of late, averaging nearly 30 points per game so far for the year. But let's not kid ourselves. A 30 spot in 2023 is not what it used to be. I mean, just 20 short years ago, in the 2003-2004 NBA season, Tracy McGrady led the league in scoring with an even 28.0 points per game average, while Kevin Garnett, Peja Stojakovic, and Kobe Bryant rounded out the 2 through 4 spots at just 24 points per game. League-wide scoring that year was only 93 points per game, while it has swelled all the way to 114 this year. Just saying we shouldn't overly romanticize Curry's near 30 spot, which is good currently though for 7th best in the NBA. Curry, meanwhile, is also averaging just above 4 assists, which is the lowest of his career, and just under 5 rebounds, which is his lowest total in nearly 9 years to this point. And all of his individual scoring hasn't been enough to get the Warriors to even 500 on the year. But perhaps it's his 116.3 defensive rating, which is good currently for 313th best in the NBA. And as we all know, he has always taken pride in that side of the ball. Anyway, add it all up, and Golden State has been below not good this season.
Below not good.
Their 0.1 net differential is currently 18th best in the league. And perhaps this is simply who the Golden State Warriors are at this point. A middling average team who will likely scrape into the playoffs as a 7 or 8 seed in the West after having to clear the play-in tournament. From there, they will lack home court advantage in any series they play in against a field of young, ascending talent, which will include the current 1 seed in the conference, Minnesota, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Sacramento Kings, who took the Warriors 7 games last year in the first round and promised to be improved this year. There is, of course, the Phoenix Suns, who are riding a 7-game win streak currently, and that is while being without Bradley Beal for most of the season to this point. Oh, and we haven't even mentioned the king of the conference. No, not him. I'm of course talking about Nikola Jokic and his defending champion Denver Nuggets, who are currently occupying the 2 seed, and that is without Jamal Murray for most of this season so far. Overall, this year's outlook seems bleak for the Golden State Warriors, and that is an aging Warriors nucleus that seems to be getting older by the minute, a team that won't be getting any younger next season, amid a sea of ascending young teams and talent who will only be getting stronger and better as time goes on. What I'm saying is, the Warriors dynasty is over. Unless, of course, Curry and company want to light up the private jet this summer and fly across the country to beg some other top 5 player to join up. Likely, though, the NBA is preparing to write the final chapter in the storied book of yet another dynastic team. And as the old saying goes, in life, as with sports, all things must come to an end. And as is almost always the case, the ending comes quicker than many could have imagined.